It's Cocoa Tea and Bakes, where we sip cocoa, share our thoughts, and serve up some bakes of wisdom. Cocoa Tea is your go-to for the juiciest gossips and saucy views, and Bakes is here to sprinkle some wisdom and keep it real with the occasional drizzle of petty bettiness. Together we dive into the latest drama, life stories, and everything in between. So grab your favorite cup and join us for a deliciously entertaining sesh. Season 1, Death in Paradise, The Comeback.
So, Bakes. It's series 14.
Series 14 of Death in Paradise.
Let's just talk about the elephant in the room about this series.
The new detective, yeah?
And the fact that he's black.
Well, I wouldn't have thought that was much of an elephant, really. That's a bit of a positive, but he's still rude, though.
No. What? But the elephant is about time. I'm so happy.
Well, yes, it is true. It's about time. For all we've had is white detectives, haven't we?
Yeah.
To be fair. And it was nice that we were, the universe was, I was speaking to the universe. It'd be nice to have a black detective. But did they have to make him so rude, though?
Yeah.
Gosh.
That hurts me, only because the other ones weren't rude.
Nah,
they
were challenge on yet. They don't get me wrong, they were quirky. Not all of them were polite, so I would say that there were some that were definitely rude. I think the nicest one out of all of them was the Irish one, whose name I forgot.
Yes, the Irish one is nice, and he's even nice when he appears on the spin-off of the Australian one.
Oh, I've not watched that. That's I can't remember. Death in Paradise spin-off.
Yeah.
That's bad, isn't it?
I can't remember the name either, but yeah. He's funny and sweet, even on that, in the short clips he appears in.
But the thing is, all of them, with the exception of the Irish one, were not people persons, so to say.
Yeah.
He was a people person.
He was. But all the other ones, they were very they came across like they were neurodivergent. Yeah? Or even Ralph, the last one before this one, he just had a bunch of allergies. He wasn't rude. He was just very different.
He had rude moments.
Do you think?
Yeah, he had rude moments. He definitely had rude moments. He did.
Oh, when it's all about food.
Rude, not food. Yeah, man, talking about chicken and chips. Didn't like chicken and chips Caribbean style, boy.
So, back to the quirks. This detective is coming across as one of the worst ones because he is so rude. I mean, Ralph came across as socially awkward, but mostly because of his allergies. He was allergic to the world. Yeah.
True.
Dust.
He was allergic to the world.
Mosquitoes.
Yeah. Man.
Caribbean food.
Chicken and chips. But then if you had to think about majority of the detectives, not including the Irish one, all of them had their own little quirks. I mean, I can honestly say that none of them, when they came on the island, even said, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Us Caribbean people, and that's probably the other bit that's really probably burning at the moment, is the fact, he's a black man, a Caribbean, you think he'd have some manners. And that's just not showing, is it really? But it's not showing. We would expect, that was the one thing that we probably would expect, he's a Caribbean man. Don't get me wrong, yes, we understand you're brought up in the UK, but even us people, like I was brought up in the UK, even I know when I go home to the lovely islands of the Caribbeans, I have to say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's manners. But in saying that, even here in England, when I'm at the bus stop waiting for somebody, right? Well, waiting for the bus, I should say. The amount of friends I've made at the bus stop because all I've said is good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And they were like,
at 8 a.m.
Even in the morning, good morning. It's still night time, but good morning, because it's pitch black when I'm going to work. It's not even the sun's not up yet. But it is a case of there are some things that us Caribbean kids and children were brought up saying good morning, good afternoon. It's a bit of manners, because it makes the day a little bit brighter. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather people don't talk to me first thing in the morning until I've had a cup of coffee. Because, yeah, I'm a bit of a dragon when I get up. But equally, if somebody says good morning to me, you know, it's like, what is it, auto response. You know, morning. You know, that's me. That is me. And is it too much to expect the one black detective that comes to the Caribbean to, you know, have a little bit of manners? Is it really? Is it too much to expect? Is it too much to expect anyone, not just a black detective, to have a little bit of manners?
To be fair, I think that the other detectives had manners. They were just awkward, neurodiverse, or...
It's called bad manners.
That's an uncle right there. Yeah, you're out here defending yourself. But uncle, I'm socially awkward. Bad manners. Do you remember when you were little and there's that one like cousin that didn't want to hug the relatives? Yeah, and the parent would be like, "Oh, they're just nervous around new people."
You can get
bad manners.
You could get away with that in a Caribbean household. Oh yeah, you know they're just sensitive. Come give me a hug. They would hug that sensitivity right out of you.
Oh please. Oh good.
But back to our wonderful TV program that we've been talking about, Death in Paradise. So, new episode officially kicked off last week, Friday night. Are we happy with a Friday night? I personally, for one, I am. Yeah, I love it on Friday. You know, me and my mum sit there. You know, it's our one little Caribbean getaway imaginary thing that we can sit. You know, have our cups of tea with our. Some prefer biscuits. I have my own little snacks. Sort of thing, you know, we like to sit there and chill out and watch our Death in Paradise. Apparently, so does somebody else.
No, I'm just picturing what you're portraying. It sounds wonderful. I think something's missing.
I think she's missing
in that wonderful portrayal of your Friday night evening.
What might that be? My wonderful cocoa tea.
I see a beautiful woman sitting next to you, watching Death in Paradise.
Oh, really? And who would that beautiful woman be?
Myself.
I bet it would.
I was there too.
She was there too, of course. So now our little duo has become a trio, where we're all sitting there with our cups of tea, having our little snacks, watching our Death in Paradise. Because, and you know what? Much as we may talk, me and Coco Tea are joking about that. Actually, you'd be surprised the amount of people that I know that do exactly that. I know quite a few families that are literally doing, you know, sitting around. It's like this their Friday night. Whereas before it used to be like Friday and Saturday used to be like game show night.
Yeah.
You know, you sit down, family, watch a game show. Now it's Death in Paradise.
I'm not against it. I don't know why I was convinced last year was Sunday.
I'm sorry, what?
I was convinced last year it was on a Sunday.
Oh, last year. No, it's always been a weekday. I think at one point it used to be on a Sunday. I think when it first started it might have been on a Sunday. And then it's like the days of the week it's going round. So no, it's never been on a Monday. And I don't think it's ever been on a Tuesday. Thursdays, yes.
Maybe it's because I know whenever I come round to watch it with you, the next day I have work. So maybe I just assumed it was a Sunday.
No, it's usually a weekday. Like, today's weekday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, carrying on with our current episode of Death in Paradise. What did you think of the family and JP? JP just gave it away in the beginning, did he? It's the family that did it. They're dodgy. Normally, you like to try and guess these things, don't you? You know, you sit there, your family groups watching Death in Paradise, and you know you're there trying to think, right, who did it? It's got to be that person, this person, that person. JP just came out. It's the family. I was like, wow. I mean, you can understand he's got a bit of angst against him because they're all dodgy as hell, but still. The moment he said it, me and my mum and sit there like, maybe it was them.
The family.
They're the only ones that really had any issues with him, and that was just him being a copper. It didn't really show anybody else that he interacted with other than the family and the police station that he was about to start, and JP obviously.
But like the brother said, the boy was soft, didn't it? So he had no problems with nobody, because he lived a good life. So I don't think he was soft, but I just think he was a good person.
He's soft.
Yeah, and he just kept his head down, studied, and minded his own business and drank his water. So he didn't have any troubles in that kind of sense. But I did think that it's very convenient for the brother. You know, like little sibling rivalry.
Oh, I say it's the old age story of Cain and Abel, man.
Yeah.
It literally was, man hit his brother in the head with a rock. You can't get more biblical than that, can you?
But think about it. In a way, not that I'm condoning what the brother did, but in a way you can understand it. Because he's...
With me?
Well, let me finish.
Oh, I'm listening.
Because the brother, he has been indoctrinated into that kind of lifestyle by his parents, right?
Yes.
Now, he's then making sacrifices for said lifestyle. But then he's feeling like, wait, hold on. You're not going to make any sacrifices for us. And even then, you're about to snitch on us. I can go back to prison.
I wouldn't. No justification of murder, really and truly. I mean, I can understand that you're saying that he had a hard life, but in all honesty, if he really didn't want to do that life, he could have given it up. Because if you think about it, both him and the brother were raised in the same household. There was no difference in who raised them. The difference is on what he chose to do, what they chose to do as individuals. So, although he may have been indoctrinated in that lifestyle, he could have chosen to go a different path.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
And if you think about the stepfather, from what you saw on the show, not so much because you can't really go much deep into that. The way the police officer described it goes, he was a little bit more lenient with him than his mother, and you could see that in a way that the guy looked at him when he was literally leaning across the bar watching him. It's like you always see it with certain Caribbean men. If they see that you want to do good with your life and you want to study, and they don't want you to be like them, you will see them act a certain way. That they're gruff with it, but what they're trying to be is well-meaning towards you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with the stepfather, he was trying to be well-meaning towards him. Just may not have come out in the right way. But we don't really know that much because they didn't really show that much of that relationship between the two. So it's a bit of a guess there, really and truly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, what do you think of Darlene, though?
Darlene was amazing.
There's a magic word.
You may not use it in London.
Yes, but we use it here in the Caribbean. I was like, yes, Darlene, tell him about, please. What? Tell that detective. But it's the face he made. Please. I thought, really?
It reminded me of Alice in Wonderland, the Cheshire Cat.
Oh, he's a Cheshire Cat now.
No, but that face, I was like, my guy's not serious.
He wasn't. He clearly wasn't. It was just like, I ain't gonna get to speak to Kamisha because until I say please, she ain't gonna give me the phone. I think he understood that, but even throughout the episode, he was still on that please, and I'm like, really, mate, it's so childish. You know, you need to get over it. An adult now, man. God, again, manners.
Yeah, no.
Manners. Doesn't cost nothing to say please. It really don't. But
I don't understand. He just doesn't listen. Because even the whole situation.
Oh, the fan. Oh, Jesus. The fan.
Don't touch it. Don't put it up.
It's fine as it is. No, he don't want to know. He don't want to, it's not fine enough. It's not going fast enough. Only when it start going squeak, 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 do you think, oh, after he turned it up, oh, there might be a problem. And he did eyeing it.
Wait, he said, that doesn't sound good, does it?
And he just said the eye get big. You see the eyes get big. I thought, excuse you. What? Now you realise that there's a problem. But wow.
Kill all electricity in that place.
And then has the cheek to say, you were right. It was fine as it is. I tell you what.
To be fair, it's not really his fault. If they had decent
Not
AC.
his fault.
Wait a minute.
Not his fault.
We
Whose
both...
hand did that turning of the knob after they tell him to leave it where it is?
we have both been in the Caribbean.
Yes.
That heat is like no heat, no other heat.
But that don't mean I'm going to mess with the electrics. I have a portable fan, man. Portable fan.
They need to get some AC.
Go in a place where there's breeze. Go in a shade where there's breeze. I'll tell you what, when I was in the Caribbean, right, I permanently had those big metal cups like the one you're drinking from. I had one of those everywhere I went. And it was filled with ice and juice. And they used to look at me and say, "Why are you drinking that way?" Because I'm still melting from the UK. I understand about the heat, but I made sure I had cool drinks. No matter where I went, there was a cool drink in this cup. I was sipping it all day. And when it got warm, I went to the shop, bought a cold drink, put it in there. What? Get some ice done, dusted. I kept myself cool. I may not have looked it at the time. I'd be sweating like a PIG, but I kept cool. I found places that were cool in the shade to chill out. When I stayed with relatives, they had certain areas in their house that was cool. I find myself there. And as for the banks, well, forget that. It's literally walking from the furnace into the freezer. You catch a cold because it was so cold in the banks because the aircon was on like maximum. But it didn't help you when you had to go back out there because you literally felt like you got slapped by the heat. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's bad. The extremes were bad. The fact that it was cool in the back was nice, but after a while, it's like, yeah, you know what? It's like going to Iceland and being in the freezer. It's like, okay, it's good for like 2 minutes. But after 15 minutes and you're still there waiting to be seen, it's like you can turn the aircon down a little bit now. You know, be cool. But equally, you're looking outside thinking, well, you know what? I'm in 2 minds because it's gonna be hot. I go out there. But yeah, it didn't do well for people's health because you catch colds going from one extreme to the other.
Oh.
Like that.
Give me some good AC any day.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
So, do we know what happened to Cat? And I always say Cat because he used to be in Red Dwarf and his character was called Cat.
She means Dwayne.
I know. I'm sorry.
You know, at the time he was asking me about Cat, and I was thinking, who the hell is Cat? There's no cat. I don't remember a cat. And then now you said it, I was like, Red Dwarf. Dwayne. She means Dwayne. Mr. Dwayne that was on a boat with his dad and then got quarantined with the local burglar, shall we say.
Yes.
I felt for him, you know, because all he wanted to do was go on holiday with his dad because, you know, dad's on limited time. And next thing you know, he gets stuck in a house with an ex-man. Neither of them want to be there. But I must admit, it made me laugh at the end. They found a way for them both to get on the boat. And the dad came up, Mr. Pork Pie. If anybody remembers Pork Pie from Desmond, that was Dwayne's dad. And the fact that he rang him the first night they were quarantined, he goes, "How you doing, Dan?" He goes, "I'm surrounded by all these women."
He was very happy.
The man was happy. But at some point he missed his son. And it was clear to see. And I thought that was nice. The fact that, you know, amongst all the good time he's having, you know, he still really thought of his son. And they clearly made the relationship work as far as the series went. And yeah, it was nice to see them two finally get to spend some quality time together. It'd be nice to see if he comes back. Do you reckon he'd come back though?
What, Dwayne?
Yeah, Dwayne.
I hope so.
It'd be funny if he did. There'd be interesting interaction between him and the current inspector, eh?
Yes. Yes.
So, Death in Paradise.
Because you think Darlene's bad, boy.
Yeah, met Dwayne. But, you know, Death in Paradise, if ever you see fit to listen to this podcast and, you know, you take on our tip, you know, our only price for that will be as extras on Death in Paradise. We'll happily sit at Catherine's bar, soaking up a rum punch and looking out to sea, acting like nobody knows us.
She's lying.
We will not be those bright sparks in the distance waving at the cameras going, "Hi, Mum." No. We will have decorum.
Oh, please. 2 rum punches and that heat should be like this. Oh, Catherine, can I get your autograph?
I'll be doing it surreptitiously. That's all I've got to say. Surreptitiously. It'll be like, rum punch and your autograph. You know, just slide it under there and your autograph while you're at it, sort of thing.
Okay.
See?
Right. Secretively.
Secretively, yeah, surreptitiously. It's the
Right.
word, surreptitiously.
Surreptitiously.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that
a
word.
word. It's a cool word.
Surreptitiously. So, did you think it was going to be the brother?
I did. Like I said, JP gave it away, man. When he said, "Is that family?" I thought, well, it can't be the mum because she loves her sons too much, and they're of value to her, so she ain't gonna kill them. The stepfather, like I said, I saw the way he looked at him when he was doing his homework, so I'm like, if he's got to be good reason. There's only left with the brother, and the brother didn't. The brother, like I said, he's soft. The fact he said he's soft, I thought, yeah, you must have done it. But I always like to try and figure it out without, it's one of those, you want to try and figure it out at the beginning. You're a bit like Columbo, innit?
But you did guess correctly that the envelope was important.
See, I do see it. This is what happens when you watch too many Death in Paradise episodes, like me. I've watched every episode. Yeah, because it was very clear that whatever was in the bag was important because they kept coming back to it. And I kept saying, turn the envelope round. What's on the envelope? You can see the stamp, but I didn't know the stamp was of importance. But
You thought the address was
I
important.
thought the address was of importance. So I thought whatever was written on the envelope might have been of some importance. Had I known it was a stamp, gosh. But then I wouldn't have known it was a stamp because I didn't know anything about the stamp that had been missing until they said that one of the things that was missing from the woman's, from the burglary of that woman's house was a stamp. I went, that's the stamp on the envelope. Like I'm some proud child that's just discovered a mystery.
Yeah. I don't know how that young man thought they were gonna get Maria in reverse and link it back to the boat. I don't think they would ever have got that.
No, I think they would. Well, not without the help of a detective.
A London detective.
A London detective at that, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
London detective. A London detective that's a bit rude. Not a bit. It's rude. Rude, does not understand manners. But actually gets to the point and solves the case.
Yes. But he's clearly not leaving.
Well, he ain't left. He's been trying. Like I said, his name is Craig David. Rewind. So, yeah. He keeps rewinding and coming back.
But he's not going to leave because, I mean, he wanted to leave. Let's just be frank. He wanted to leave, but like all the detectives before him, solving the murder always comes first.
But I think this time he's not leaving because the commissioner's giving him that file case of his mother, isn't it?
Yeah, and then he read it and he was like,
what the hell?
This is not an accident.
No. Not an accident, which means he will now stick around to solve the case of his mother if another murder doesn't happen next week.
And we know there is another murder next week because we saw the clip.
We saw a clip because that's what happens in Death in Paradise. They show you the clip of what was going to possibly happen next week.
That is correct. So, last thoughts about the first episode of Series 14. Bakes?
It was quite heartbreaking to begin with, but we definitely felt like justice was served towards the end, in the sense of catching the person that did it. JP being able to make the arrest, I thought that was quite nice of the inspector to allow him to do that. It makes you wonder whether somebody behind the scenes, and I don't mean literally behind the scenes, I mean as in, as part of the whole Death in Paradise series, sort of said, JP, this is important to JP, he's one of his little students, he's definitely, invested in what's going on here. So I think he recognised when somebody has somebody that close to them that the importance of getting the arrest done. But it feels like he paid more. It's like he paid more attention and respect to JP than anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, and Larry/Harry the Lizard.
I think somewhere deep down, he has a really good heart, and I think he understood how much this hurt JP.
Oh God, yeah.
How
definitely.
much he believed in that young boy, and then how much he was hurt by him no longer being here.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, you know, it's nice to have a male person to talk to. And I think that if we think about it, he's in a police station with just 2 other women.
Mm.
So that could also be a factor. A dynamic that plays out a little bit in the situation.
Don't know. I mean, it makes you wonder though. Is that going to be his character? Or is he actually going to, you know, let us see that little human heart of his inside? We got a little glimpse of it at the Christmas show when he was talking about his mum and the fact that he was adopted and he didn't understand. He came to find out why, but was basically robbed of the chance because she died before he even got there. So I think maybe we might see a little bit more of the human factor inside our wonderful little detective.
Yeah, and this is what I'm trying to say. I think he has the warmth to him. I just think that he's so used to protecting himself that it's hard for him to let down that barrier.
Yeah. Let's hope he has some manners too.
Yeah, the rudeness has to stop. It's just
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah, we can't be doing the rudeness anymore.
Yeah.
2 episodes is enough, I think, mate.
I think Darlene ain't having it no more.
I say, go Darlene, man. I'm just waiting for. I'm wondering whether the sergeant will actually, you know, put her foot down too and say, you know, dude, can't be treating me this way. Say at least good morning. But I don't see her doing it.
Naomi's too passive.
She's just gonna, she's gonna make those faces.
Yeah, yeah.
And then get frustrated.
I think
about how he always does this.
I think her frustration might overflow, and then she'll say something in an outburst.
Well, you say she's holding it in and building it all up until she gets like a kettle and just goes wee.
Pretty much.
Oh well.
That's what I'm thinking. I think she's just gonna have a big old outburst and go boom.
Well, I pity that inspector when she does go boom. What? I lied. I pity the inspector, man, because you know he's gonna get it.
Oh yeah, and the commissioner's not helping him.
No, oh, speaking of which, last thoughts. So he might be going, our commissioner.
Yeah.
That was a sad thing at the end. JP giving him the news that they're streamlining and his role might be going. I hope that if his role goes, he gets to come back as some sort of consultant because they need him, to be honest.
I don't think they should get rid of him at all. He's like, no.
No, they need him, man, especially when they're dealing with the press and stuff. He was the only one that did it. None of the others did it. If you really think about the episodes going backwards and what... No, I take that back. One other. I think it was D.I. Humphreys, what I call British Telecom.
Yeah.
He and the Irish detective, I think, were the only 2 that really dealt with the press per se, that made announcements, were on the case, searching for the killer, that sort of stuff. But the others, not so much. It was mainly the commissioner that did it, from what I remember. So yeah, it's going to be interesting who's going to have to start. God, can you imagine our inspector filling that role?
No. But also, it just wouldn't be Death in Paradise without him.
It wouldn't, would it?
It wouldn't.
It wouldn't. But we can understand if people need to move on to pastures news per se.
But also, I want to see the continuation of the love story between him and Darlene. There was a lovely flirtation there.
The commissioner.
Do you remember this?
I do, but I think that was like a literal... That candle got blown out kind of quick.
I thought it was great. I thought it'd be great.
Well, it would look a bit weird though if you think about it. If she, Darlene, the ex of Dwayne, goes with the Commissioner Selwyn, I don't know about that. That's a bit of a weird one for me.
Why?
When you think about it, she's gone with bright and vivacious Darlene to, Dwayne, to a bit more solemn, refined Selwyn.
But, one, I think he can be bright and... I can't remember the other word you used.
Vivacious.
Vivacious. And also...
You think Selwyn can be bright and vivacious?
I think so, yes. And also, she herself has changed. Remember before, she wasn't always in the police force.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't, but she was a bright, vivacious lady herself, was Darlene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See? And look how she's transformed herself.
She's still bright and vivacious. You're not seeing her outside of work.
But that might be what he needs.
What, you're saying he needs a bright and vivacious lady?
To spice up the life.
Spice up his love life.
Oh, wow.
But we don't even know if he has a love life, because you know he keeps them things private. We didn't even know he was divorced until his child turned up.
Boy.
That just goes to show you how private Commissioner Selwyn actually is.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Now, I don't have a bad habit of saying last thoughts and last thoughts, but that was my absolute last thought.
I have no more thoughts.
Well, and on that note, we will see you guys next week for our next installment of Death in Paradise. You have been listening to Cocoa Tea and Bakes, where we have been serving up some bits of wisdom along with some saucy views from the Cocoa Tea. Join us next time for more of the same.